Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. How are we doing? It's been a little while since I've gotten to stream for you all or with you all.
Same. I can't remember the last time I was on a stream. It might have been for Camp Nano, or maybe we did one right after, but
Yeah, I think we did the last. Honestly, I don't remember. Time is but an illusion. I could look at my YouTube page and figure out the last time that I streamed, but that requires too much work. Hi, Glow Llama. Welcome to the stream. Also, if you haven't noticed, we are officially in the Burr months, which means it is spooky season. So we're very excited. Hello, Alyssa. Welcome to the stream. So excited for tomorrow morning. It's going to be so much fun. And for those of you that are watching, go over to Alyssa's channel and subscribe because I'm going to be live on her channel tomorrow at 6 a.m. my time. So Central Standard Time. Also, I just discovered today that there's a difference between Central CST and CDT. Apparently, you use them at different times of the year depending on daylight savings time. I've always just used CST, which, the more you know.
I used CDT in my post, so now I'm like, did I?
Well, they're both correct. You just use them at different times of the year, apparently. But at least that's
Oh,
what Google told me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
how
But
interesting.
Google told me that. Hello, Raquel. Welcome. Working on laundry. Listen, I need to do laundry, but I am trapped in a cave for the indeterminable future. So we'll see. Hello, Ian. Welcome. Hello, Kat. I doubt you're using it wrong because I just discovered there was a difference today. So you're more than likely using it correctly, but also daylight savings time confuses me sometimes, so there's also that.
Yeah.
Hello, Jazz. First time on the sprints. Oh, we're so excited to have you. Me and Becca, we have good times.
We
We
do.
like to yap, but we have a good time.
We do not shut up. It's a good time. I specifically don't shut up.
Right? We're editing our books, but we don't know how to edit our conversation, and that's all right.
For sure.
Once I finish folding this mountain of clothes, I will maybe edit a chapter. I believe in you, Alyssa. I believe in you. Hello, Nevea. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I feel like it would be Nevea. Maybe not. But yeah, hello. We're going to be doing some writing tonight. And for those of you that are maybe don't know who Becca is, I don't know how you don't know who Becca is, but Becca, would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Becca. I am a horror writer. I'm currently working on my first book. I finished my zero draft, and I'm currently working on my first real true first draft. And then I have my YouTube channel where I make a ton of writing, lifestyle, bookish content. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, you might consider checking it out. I post mostly vlogs, but I'm trying to diversify, but I've yet to do so the last few weeks. So that's
Hey,
me.
I love your vlogs. They're always just so cozy and you have really found your stride on the vibes. It's just
Oh, thank
every time I
you.
watch one of your videos, it feels like waking up on a crisp autumn morning and sitting on my porch and drinking a hot cup of coffee. That's what
What a
your vlogs
compliment.
feel like to me.
That is the vibe I always try to give. So I'm glad that it's giving.
Well, it's giving. It is giving. Okay, update. It is CDT until November, and then it's back to CST. So now we all know that because I had
Okay.
no idea. You learn something new every day. And I'm so glad those are your favorite kind of sprints because we will not stop yapping. But
Yes.
yeah, for those of you coming from Becca's channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Cody the Writer. I am currently in the process of redrafting my debut mystery thriller novel that goes by the title for now, The Ghostwriters Club. And if you are interested in what my story's about, I recently posted a video where I wrote my book blurb live with on the in a little vlog kind of situation.
Mhm.
And yeah, you can find out all about it. It has a lot of fun tropes of the mystery thriller, lots of secrets, lots of lies, a mystery presence that is threatening to kill them. And so it's a fun time. if you like that kind of thing. Okay, good. I said your name correctly because let me tell you a story. So, and it's funny that I can actually use this because it's used in jokes so often. But one time at band camp, literally, we were doing this thing, and they were like wanting to incorporate more like choreography into like the actual band and not just the color guard. So we
Mhm.
were learning this thing, and we were doing this on like the first day of camp. We were in the gym, and I guess I was doing a good job. And so the color guard instructor called me to the front and was like, "What's your name?" And I said, "Cody." And she literally looked at everyone and was like, "All right, Tony here is going to show you all how it's done." And I was like, "Well," and so people called me Tony for many years in high school
You're like,
as
"I'm
like
not
a
correcting you."
haha. Yeah. And so,
Fine.
it is what it is. But I've been called Corey, Tony. I don't even know, but it's fine.
I used to get so many people who would not know how to spell my maiden last name. Like Rebecca was always like, like sure, fine, but Maldonado, which is like my maiden name, they'd throw Z's and T's and X's in there. I'm like,
Maldonado.
how the hell did we get here? For real? Oh my gosh.
We love that. Yes, the color guard trauma is real,
Hmm.
but it's fine. We survived it, and we're still living to tell the story. Yeah, it is fun to chat and write. I couldn't agree more. But if you haven't been on one of our streams, this is the way we typically do it is we're going to do 3 sprints, 25 minutes each. And in between that, you can tell us what you're working on. Actually, go ahead and in the chat while I'm explaining this, tell us what you're going to be working on during the stream. We'd love to hear about what you're writing, or if you're folding laundry like Alyssa, absolutely let us know what you're doing. But yeah, we're going to be doing 3 sprints, 25 minutes apiece. In between the sprints, we're going to be chatting. You can ask us questions. You can, it can literally be anything. It can be, what is the meaning of life? It could be, should I use CST or CDT? It can literally be anything. And we'll do our best to answer any and all of your questions. And yeah, Cody isn't even hard to remember or pronounce. I couldn't agree more, but you would be so surprised at how many people look at that name and just change that D to an R. Like, I don't understand. It's I've been called Corey, and like they're looking at a piece of paper and they're like Corey, and I'm like, no, but whatever. I'll answer to anything because honestly, I've been called worse.
Those are the same people that like will see your name written on an email and still like give you like call you something completely different.
Like, it was literally an open book test. All you had to do was look at my name here and retype it. But what can you do? And
What
also,
can you
I apologize in advance if I randomly go into a coughing fit. I am currently in COVID lockdown, but we are on the uptick. We are feeling much better. We just have some congestion, coughing happening. So, yeah, but I'm very excited to have some human interaction because I have not had any in such a long time. And by a long time, I mean 2.5 days.
That's an eternity.
It feels like it. It feels like it.
Hmm.
All right, let's see. Raquel plans to rework Act 2 outline of your romantasy. Ooh, love that. I think I'll rewrite chapter 7. I usually don't edit as I write, but the chapter is kind of bad. I can't continue until it's fixed. And you know what? That's okay. Sometimes you do what you got to do. I'm typically not an edit as I write just because if I do that, then I'll end up in a loop. And so what I'll typically do is just leave a note for myself and be like, yo, this chapter is garbage. Fix that later.
Yeah.
But if it works for you, everyone's writing process is different. There's no one right way to write. And so you
Hmm.
do what you think is best. YouTube always calls me Melissa, but it's fine. Like, where did the M come from? Oh my gosh. I'll be tweaking my murder mystery police procedural detective sci-fi draft. That sounds like a lot of fun. That's a
Yeah.
lot of things, but I'm intrigued
I
by
feel
all of that.
like LDJ would be all over that.
Absolutely would be. I was watching
100%.
his vlog he posted about like world building, or the one where he built a
Yeah.
city, and I feel like, yeah, he would be all over that. Editing a video, 3 months of material to go through, might switch to writing afterwards. That sounds like fun.
Mhm.
A lot of stuff you can just work through and then just post as you work through it. That sounds like a good time. But what do we say we go ahead and start our first sprint? I'm
Um,
Alyssa. I write books becomes I'm Alyssa. You know, closed
it
captions are hard.
happens.
Oh, wait. LDJ and I have swapped drafts for beta reading. Oh, so the
Oh,
LDJ is all over it. So there we go. That's so
I
fun.
called it.
You really did. You really did. Working on redrafting chapter 11 of my new adult retail Christmas romance. Oh, I love a little
Ooh.
Christmas romance. Like me and
You
Hallmark
know
are like this during the
what,
holidays.
like, the era of Christmas movies that I love is like the 90s, like Christmas retail romance. Like, I can
Mhm.
picture it. You didn't say it was in the 90s, but in my heart, that's where it's at. Because like all the best rom-coms came out in the 90s and early 2000s, in my opinion.
Yeah. All the new ones, like, I mean, okay, I'm still gonna watch them, but they're
Yeah.
basically the same thing. It's
I
like,
have a hard
important
time.
businesswoman meets,
Yeah.
farmer man, and they have these conflicting lives, but they end up falling in love and by the true meaning of Christmas. But I'm gonna gobble it up every single time.
Listen, to me, no one does it better than Sweet Home Alabama or The Holiday. So,
I don't know, that new one, well, I just say new, the newer one with Lindsay Lohan where she, like, falls off of a mountain and forgets who she is, and then ends up,
the Christmas movie?
yeah, it's, Falling for
Right.
Christmas or something like that,
Mhm, mhm, mhm. I
and
have yet to see it, but
I also love a fake dating Christmas romance where they're like, "I just need a date for the holidays, and can you just be my date?" And then they end up, like, falling in love over the spirit of Christmas.
yes,
I do
yes.
love all of those. Working on my master's, can't wait to be done
Hi,
with it so I can work
Ellie.
on my novel. Hi,
Yeah, girl.
Ellie. The Holiday, Jude Law, my love. I
Incredible
will
movie. Incredible movie.
ugh,
I
but
was telling, oh, what was I telling? I think it was Mick. I was on a Zoom session with Mick, and she was asking me like, "Oh, like what content do you have planned?" Or we were talking about content that we had planned for YouTube coming up. And one of the things, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm getting super excited for Christmas, but I was like, "Oh, like I really want to do like a like doing all the Hoa Hoa season things. Like that's when I'll do like my Twilight read and like
Hoa, hoa,
yeah."
hoa, hoa, hoa. I
So I'm
just
very
love that.
excited for that.
Oh, every time I hear that sound, I just imagine that,
I'm
I don't
like,
know, it's a meme on TikTok of, like, a guy doing, like, interpretive dancing,
yes,
like a
yes,
ballerina, and that's just
yes,
what I imagine every time I hear "Hoa, hoa, hoa,"
yeah.
and I wanna
Oh,
be that guy.
absolutely.
But it is before we can get to Christmas, we have to get to spooky season, and as you can see, we have changed the vibes of the stream to match spooky season.
Hmm.
Who's excited? Because I know I am. I love spooky season. It's my second favorite time of the year. My first favorite time of the year is Christmas because I love Christmas.
Hmm.
But spooky season is a very close second because I love all things spooky, scary, and horror.
Yeah.
And so, this is like the ample time for like the spooky movies. And I've had nothing but time. But with all that out of the way, let's do our first sprint, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, sprint number one is going to be set. I do like to play rain sounds. If you hate the rain sounds, absolutely feel free to mute us. You will not hurt my feelings in the slightest. I'm going to go ahead and get that sound started. And let's start the sprint. Here we go. All right. First sprint is done. Becca, how'd you do?
Well, I wrote on my Alpha Smart, so I don't have the exact word count, but I think I got around like 500 words.
That is crazy because I also got 500 words.
Yay!
498 to be exact.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually writing a really fun, like, flashback scene that is very important to the end of the story. So if you ever decide to read my book one day and you get to a certain flashback scene, just know that that is important and you should remember those things.
Yeah, all those flashback scenes, they all serve a purpose, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm of the belief that flashbacks should not exist in a story unless they serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Like, because I've read some books that have flashbacks just for the sake of a flashback, and I'm like, that's great. I enjoy learning more about the character's life before this, but also, like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know? But it's all good.
Yeah, I'm working on a it's my Dark Night of the Soul chapter, and it is like I knew it was gonna be heavy, but it's kind of crazy when you like picture certain scenes in your book and then you actually get to writing them and you're like, damn, like
Yeah,
some pretty heavy shit in here, and I don't know. Like, I was sitting here writing it out, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make myself cry.
yeah. There's a specific POV chapter in this book that whenever I wrote it in the first draft, I literally had to like take a mental break because I was like, that was so sad. So I get it.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Let me catch up on the chat. Hi, Miss Blogger. Welcome to the stream. Hi, Tiara. Welcome. Alyssa's almost done with the laundry, hoping to finish up during the chat before the next sprint. I believe in you, sis. You got this. I need to do laundry, but that'll be a problem for future Cody. Whenever I turn into a cleaning demon and have to, wash all this bedding, I'll just do it all at once. Let's see. Oh, we have a fun question. If you were stranded on an island, what character in your whip would you want to be with you? Ooh, that is fun. Let me think about that because I would want to be with a few of them but for very different reasons.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, I think not my main character. She's at
She's
least
going
not at the
through some
beginning.
things.
She's going through some things. I think I would go. So there's this intern that works with her that's like no nonsense, just everything that I also personally wish I could be, just like so meticulous and detail oriented and just like so confident and self assured. And like, I have a feeling Diana would find a way to get off that island in like one business day, 3 to 5
Yeah,
business days max. So
three max.
yeah.
I'm gonna pick a very obscure character in my book, and it's gonna be Julia's father because he is the deputy chief
Yeah.
policeman of this town, and he went through a lot of like survival training in the military and stuff
Mhm.
like that prior to becoming the chief of police. And so I would say him because I'm assuming he has a lot of survival instinct and knowledge and would be the best fit to save me. But it's so funny because he's such an obscure like character in this book.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
really
No,
not
same.
important, but I'd be stranded with him, I feel like. Nevaeh spent the whole time staring at the screen, trying to remember how to write again. I haven't written in a month because I was brainstorming everything. Hey, brainstorming is still writing. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that because it's so easy for writers, at least from what I've seen from people posting vlogs and just from talking to other writers, to feel like you're not writing unless you see your word count going up. But all aspects of brainstorming, plotting, just sitting and staring at the screen, all of that is considered writing in my book. So you were still productive and you still did some really good work. And it's also, I understand because as we all know, from if you've watched any of my vlogs, at least I've been doing a show for forever. Um, and so writing was basically non-existent. And so getting back into the flow of how do draft, how do
Mhm.
draft. it,
Yeah.
it, but once you find that flow, you'll be it's like riding a bike.
Also, I feel like sometimes this has worked for me. Like whenever I get in that funk, I will literally like handwrite things, and not necessarily like the writing, but just like handwriting. Like, okay, what do I want to tackle with like the hour that I have to like sit down and write, or something like that. I find that
Yeah.
that's been like super helpful because sometimes it gives your hands something to do while you're still figuring out what they need to type.
Hmm.
A little, maybe that helps.
Yeah.
How do
And
draft? Yeah.
how do draft isn't, but excuse me. Let's see. Woohoo! Live sprint. Yes. Welcome, Painted by Books. Finished outlining a chapter. Slay, Raquel. We love that. We love that. Working on some school writing during these sprints, but can't wait to work on my own writing soon. Love that. School writing is just a lot. It's just
Yeah.
a lot. That's also like school just takes so much of your like mental capacity. Like I didn't read a lot whenever I was in school doing my master's program. I've only like just recently, like in the last year, started picking up reading for fun again, just because I was so bogged down with school reading that I didn't want to do it
Yeah.
like in my free time. So I'm excited for you to get through that school writing so you can do your thing. Did the editing. Good job, Glow Llama. Working on my character profiles for my two main zombie characters in my fiction, fantasy, and contemporary romance novel. Love that. Missed the first sprint, but I'm working on whittling down 6,400 words to a 5,000 words. Ooh, are you writing a short story?
Yeah, my
Because,
question is why whittling down and why that word count?
yeah, like, is there like a specific thing you're submitting for that has a specific word count? Because I know like short story competitions sometimes have like specific word counts that you have to be in the middle of. Or are you just trying to whittle it down to make it more concise? Like do line editing stuff like that. I mean, let us know. We'd love to hear. How do draft exactly? Nevaeh gets it. The best reading year of my life was the year after college. I legit, oh my God, 200 books? That is wild and crazy. Oh, yes, it is a short story. I'm submitting it to an anthology. 5,000 is the limit. Oh, that's so exciting. You'll have to keep us updated on that process of submitting to the anthology and let us know like where we can read your work. It was a dark time. I've actually, I don't know what it is because because we've talked about this before, Becca. So I'm just gonna spring off of that. The
Okay.
series of Unfortunate Events TV show on Netflix. I have gotten back into it. I tried it again because, again, I've had nothing but time and leisure. So I got back into it. I've actually almost completely finished the series because it's only 3 seasons, and the third season covers all the way up to the last book. So I'm assuming this is it, like the
Hmm.
whatever. But it made me want to like pick up those books again just for nostalgia purposes. So I
Hmm.
did binge read yesterday the complete first book, The Bad
Uh-huh.
Beginning, just because why not? And it was free on Kindle Kids, and so I started a free trial of Kindle Kids just so I could read that book for free because I don't own the first one. I own the second, the third, the fourth, and then the 13th, but I didn't own the first one, so I went and downloaded that one for free on Kindle Kids and binge read it. And now I am binge reading this novella that Frida McFadden posted.
Mhm.
That she published, and it's basically like a satirical thriller. Kind of like, did you ever watch the thing on Netflix where it's like the woman in the house across the street from the lady in the window? It's like making fun of thrillers, but it's on Netflix.
Yes. Yeah, with Anna Faris, right? No, it might not
Yes.
be Anna Faris.
Oh,
Okay.
not Anna Faris.
She's in a bunch of spoofs. I know she was in the Grudge spoof. I always think of that
Yeah.
one. But I do know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window.
Yeah.
Uh, Yay, thank you. My fiance just made me dinner because he's an amazing human and he's been taking the best care of me as I've been in my hidey hole. So leave a heart in the chat for Clark. He's the best. I love you. But yeah, anyway, it's basically like the book version of that. And so I just started it today and I'm already like 40% of the way through it. Um,
Ooh.
but yeah, it's cute. You know, anything Frida McFadden publishes, I'm going to read.
Love. Yeah.
I need to start reading again, but my phone keeps stealing my attention. Oof, that is a struggle for on all fronts. My phone is a time suck, and I sometimes have to literally put it across the room from me so I don't touch it.
Yeah.
It's just a struggle bus. What is your favorite location or spot in your work in progress? A place where you wish existed that you could visit or hang out yourself or with your main characters? That's an easy question. So my main characters, they all their group meets in like this like old abandoned like library that like if you imagine like a dark academia gothic kind of library like very like built of made of stone. There's like marble fireplace, but also it kind of has like this like no one ever goes there anymore. Like I feel like I would love to have a place like that to just go and write in just for the vibes of like the aesthetic of a abandoned library. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, I just love those vibes. That would be my choice. What about you, Becca?
I so my story is very centralized, like one location, but it's this like fictional town near Mount Rainier called Maple Falls, and it's like this very cutesy, very Hallmark, very
Very
like
demure.
Christmas and very cutesy. Yes, very demure. Um,
The brain
it's
rot.
just adorable little like town, which is such a interesting like juxtaposition to like the subject matter like of the book. But I feel like if you take all of that away, it's like my dream Christmas vacation spot. I would love to be there. It's like Stars Hollow, but
That sounds like a place where I would love to go do like a writing retreat.
oh yeah.
I would eat that up.
Oh, also, side note, because I just remembered, Alyssa, if you're still here, number one, did you already have your triathlon? Number two, I saw you also had a writing retreat. I haven't watched the video yet, so how did that go? Okay, that's all I'll say.
If she's not still here, I know she did do her triathlon because I saw it in a vlog.
Oh, okay. I need to catch up on everyone's videos. Truly.
Listen, I am of the mindset, especially like for like my vlogs and stuff. I never expect like especially like friends and stuff to watch it because I feel like if I when I open my phone sometimes
Mm-hmm.
like I'm so bogged down with all the things that are on there like it
Mm-hmm.
feels like it's endless, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. And
Mm-hmm.
so I totally get it. Oh, we do love Clark here. Thanks, Becca.
You're welcome.
If I get into this anthology, it'd be my first published story, so fingers crossed. Just got to get the story edited first. Ooh, I'm crossing my fingers for you, and so is Becca. And you'll have to keep us updated in future streams if it makes it into the anthology and where we can all
Mm-hmm.
read it. People say read a chapter or two before you go to sleep to relax, and no, I'll be up until 3 a.m. reading the entire book. I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that. But I will say, my sleep schedule was the best whenever I was reading before bed instead of scrolling on my phone. Because I
Yeah.
guess reading, I guess, is, I don't know, a different process, even though I'm still looking at a screen because I typically read on my Kindle at night because I turn
Yeah.
all the lights off and, whatever. But the act of reading before bed just helped me wind down my brain so much easier than scrolling on TikTok or something.
Yeah.
Yes, the triathlon was in August, and I have not shut up about it. Well,
Understandable. Understandable.
you are welcome to not shut up about it in this chat because we want to hear all about it.
Yeah.
The retreat was good. I had a good reset, and I've definitely gotten into a better flow since then. And we love to hear that. The thing that I'm most excited about this show finally ending is to get back into my flow where I was like,
Oh,
all I had
yeah.
to do was go to work. And then when I came home, all of my evenings were free to just do what I wanted
Mm-hmm.
and write and not be bothered by having to leave the house again. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to get back into my flow of things. This is like a nice kickstart to that because I have,
Mhm.
again, I'm trying to go a full video without saying the word triathlon, and I'm failing. And you know what? I love hearing about the triathlon because honestly, that's a big accomplishment that
Yeah.
many people can say that like can't say that they have done. So you keep milking that achievement for as long as you want, and I will still continue to watch every single one of your videos and not judging you one bit. How to build a fictional without overwhelming your readers 12 days ago. Okay, I'll have to look into
Ooh.
that. It was low key horrible. I can only imagine because it's hot here in August, and I can't imagine having to do all of that in the heat and humidity where I live. So, you know what? You deserve all the snaps, all the medals, all the rewards, all the sweet treats, all the little TJ Maxx shopping sprees.
I think it's really interesting too. So like I recently went out, I grabbed drinks with a bunch of my old coworkers that we all got let go of from like our last job.
Yeah.
And they asked me like, "Oh, Becca, like what have you been up to?" And I don't know why. I'm so bad about talking about myself and like celebrating my wins. So I was just like, "Oh, nothing, like, just looking for work, blah blah blah." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, like I got my master's," and they're like, "That's not nothing," and I was like, "And I also finished the first draft of my book," and they're like, "That's also not nothing." Like it's like my moral of the story is don't feel bad about bringing it up because you got to do this really cool life thing and you feel comfortable talking about it. So like continue
Yeah.
to talk about it, please. Like
Yeah.
that's cool. I always have this habit of like minimizing my accomplishments, so it's really cool that you don't.
I
I
feel
love
like
that
that's
for you.
just like a universal thing. I don't know why we
Yeah.
feel like we have to minimize our accomplishments. Like, no, celebrate that shit because you deserve to
Yeah.
celebrate it. And
Mm-hmm.
like, there are people out there that can't say that they have finished a full first draft,
Yeah.
and you have. And like, there are some people that, even fewer people that have edited that first draft, and you're currently doing that. So you gotta be proud of those accomplishments because that's what keeps us going. Because it's
Yeah.
very, especially like the pre-published part, the only person that can really reward you is yourself
Yeah.
because you're not sharing it with anybody else at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very personal thing, and so it's important to personally celebrate all of your small wins
Mm-hmm.
and your big wins, no matter what. It was less the heat and more the warlike swimming environment where you legit look death in the eye.
Oh god.
God, I can only imagine like 50 people like paddling for their life and like water splashing me in the face. I would be so overstimulated. I'd like, you know what? I'm just gonna drown at this point. Like, this is
Every
crazy.
time, like one of my like I know so many people that sign up for the Chicago Marathon. My friend and her partner have done it like multiple times. My old boss did it, and they talk about the training involved. Like they're like, yeah, you train for like the first 20 miles and like the last six, like it's in God's hands. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, what do you
Like,
mean it's in
what's
God's
in
hands?
God's hands? Like my life?
Oh my god! I'm just like my
Ugh.
old boss was like, but yeah, my headphones died and my legs started chafing and my feet started bleeding, but I made a good time. And I was like, Sarah, stop! Like, what? Running does not sound fun.
No, it does not. Like, do not sign me up for that because
Good
that
for you,
sounds
but
horrible. But
mm-mm.
Alyssa, we are so proud of you here on this channel.
That's for you.
Yeah. Preach, celebrate your wins. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes people just start. Oh my God. I didn't know that I was going to read that sentence on God's internet today, but I'm so glad that I did. And thank you for sharing.
Oh my god.
That
Okay.
I would not know what I would do if I just was running by someone who was literally like pulling that scene in Bridesmaids where she's just shitting in the street.
Oh my god.
Like
I've
that.
heard of literally like I've seen guys that like I guess they have their own sports bras because their nipples chafe really bad, and then they start bleeding.
I never want to get
But
to that
pooping is new.
point. Well, I mean, I will say I have heard stories of,
Uh-huh.
of this happen because I mean, you're mid triathlon and you're also running. It gets the digestive system going,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can just
That's
imagine
true. That's
that
true.
you're like, well, I
Oh,
have literally nowhere to go. And so I might as well go here. The nipple chafe is real, but not for Alyssa because she goes prepared. Just
Yeah.
wanted to clarify that. I am learning so much about
Yeah.
triathlons, and I'm only adding to the list of reasons why I will not be doing one.
Yeah, no. Edwin is like I am learning new things like from friends that are like having babies and getting pregnant and like what the pregnancy experience, like all this shit they don't tell you about having kids and then all this
Yeah,
stuff afterwards. And it's like every new piece of information that I learn, I'm just kind of like, okay, like I can deal with that, sure, when it comes
yeah,
to like that. Every new piece of information that I get from people that run marathons or run as a hobby, I'm just like, keep that to yourself.
yeah.
It's like
And they keep
you
talking about
need
this runner's high. I have not experienced a runner's high once. Every time I
like,
run, it's a low, and I
yeah.
don't I don't like it.
So Alyssa, good for you. And
Yeah,
anybody else in this chat that runs, good for y'all.
we are so proud of you, but it
Respectfully keep it.
couldn't
Keep
be
it.
us.
Keep it. I don't want
Don't sign me and Becca up for a triathlon, but you can sign us up for another sprint. Did you like that
What a
segue? Did you
segue.
like that? Did you
That
like
was
that?
smooth.
Thank you so much. But yes, we will be starting our next sprint right now. 25 minutes are on the clock. We're setting the vibes with the nice ambiance of rain. If I can figure out how to do it, I forget everything.
Also,
To it.
there's a little button on the bottom right of the little umbrella, and you can just turn it on and off there.
Shut up.
You're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Again, we learn something new every day. Okay, well, now that we've learned that, 25 minutes are on the clock. I'm about to scarf down this dinner and hopefully get some words in. So here we go.
I'll keep my camera on so y'all can judge my faces.
Yes, mine will be off because I will be eating.
Eating.
All righty. How did you do? I got almost another 300 words on top of being able to eat my dinner, so that's slay.
I think I got 400. So not
Very
bad.
nice. Very nice. Yeah. This morning, since I actually started to feel like a human, I was like, okay, Clark, so I want to be doing some writing these next 2 days. Obviously, I knew I was going to be writing with you tonight, and so I was like, give me like an estimated word count that you like goal to hit in these 2 days. And he was like, well, how many do you think wow, I just had a brain fart. How many words would make you feel like a good writing day? And I was like, like 1,000 would be
Hmm.
a good day. And he was like, okay, 3,500. And I'm like, that's a little lofty, but okay. We'll see. Honestly, I'll just be happy if I can write 1,000 words a day, which I'm on track of that. So we're excited for that.
Yeah, that is good. I feel like that's achievable.
Alyssa finished her laundry. Very nice. That's a
It's,
I hate laundry. It's the bane of my existence.
yeah.
Glow Llama is done, almost done editing this video. That is exciting. And Alyssa is now doing some planning for the week. Love that. We love a plan. I wrote 166 words, did a lot of stuff, wrote a scene that accurately portrays my antagonist. Now I have to figure out one more scene. It sounds like you're
Nice.
doing a lot of good work, Nevaeh.
Yeah.
So you just keep on keeping on. Yeah, I'm writing a really fun scene right now, and I haven't done it in a while, but I kind of want to share a line from what I just got done writing because I really liked it. Um, and so basically, it's a flashback to when our main character was in the hospital, and he's basically just woken up for the first time, and obviously his body's in shambles because he was in a car accident or whatever. And I say or whatever, he was in a car accident. And so someone left flowers on the windowsill for him, and his mom told him that it's like one of his it was a friend of his. Her name was Emily, and he remembers who Emily is. That was like his best friend in high school. And basically there's like this, I'll just read this little, it's a short paragraph. Looking at the flowers on the windowsill, it felt good knowing Emily hadn't forgotten about me. You always make a pact with your high school best friend that you will keep in touch when you go off to college, but then you get swept up in the newness of everything and inevitably leave your old life behind. Laying there in that hospital bed, I felt like a mere prisoner of my past, forced to stay behind and watch everyone else move towards their futures. I was trapped, and my broken body was a cage.
Oh, very nice.
I felt good about that, and then that's like where the flashback ends for Logan. So then we get
Hmm.
back to the nitty gritty, where they are finding the thing. Do you remember the scene I was talking about with the body covered in a sheet?
Yes.
That's where we are.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where we are.
Okay.
And so yeah, things are happening. It's getting ooky spooky scary, and yeah, it's a good time.
Ooh.
Um,
Um.
As I said, ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, I feel like this scene. It's just one of those. I feel like when you. Well, I do this whenever I think about like a working project, but like there's actually so many components to the scene, and I feel like my brain is bouncing all over the place trying to make sure I'm like, oh, I want to include that, and that needs to be in here too, and this needs to, so I'm like going back and forth of like, wait, okay, and this is definitely gonna need some work, but like uh
Yeah,
I'm like just
it's
now
tough
realizing.
because you have all the pieces, but it's knowing how to move them around. Like for example, this
Yeah.
flashback scene was
Mm-hmm.
very early in the first draft,
Yeah.
but now it is about at the midpoint where this flashback happens, which I think it fits here better because when something else happens later, this will be fresher in the reader's mind of
Mm-hmm.
this flashback. And so that's kind of why I moved it here. And I was like, actually, this would be a great place to put it because usually a flashback is triggered by something that the main character sees, smells, like one of their senses is activated by
Yeah.
something. And so when they walk into this library, it's the smell of blood hits their nose, and it reminds them of when they woke up in the hospital and they had like like blood caked in their nose, and like that's all they
Mhm.
smelled was like dried blood. And
Mhm.
kind of like what triggered the flashback, and I was like, oh wait, and that actually would make this a much better spot. So I was like, let's just put the flashback here. I like it, and
Yeah.
if it stays here in the final draft, but I like it in this new spot.
Yeah. It's
So
definitely like the puzzle piecing of it all, right? It's like you
yeah,
get all these scenes out and you're like, okay, are they in the right spot? How could this be better? Where can I move them around? And then like I also need to like restructure. I'm considering if it's in the right um tense and in the right point of view
well,
now that I'm like almost done.
hey, that's okay. Because I
Yeah.
literally the whole reason that I'm doing this redraft is because my first draft was not in the point of view that I felt like it needed to be. And after
Yeah.
reading it and getting some feedback, I was like, this story is not in the correct POV, and so let's just rewrite the whole thing and fix
Yep.
that. But
Yep.
I feel like the story is going to be so much better by the end of this draft, and I'm very excited because my goal is to have this draft finished by the end of this month. Which, if I can stay on track with the writing schedule that I kind of have in mind, then it should happen.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm actually going to be doing some critique partnering stuff starting October 1st with Alyssa, who's actually in the chat, and Sylvia. And then once I get past that round of life, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do some more like editing based on their notes, and then we're going to do the next round of betas to see how we like it. So we have a plan, and this book will be published in 2025, come hell or high water. I'm saying that I'm putting it out in the universe. This book will be published.
I believe in you.
Let's see. Hi y'all. Joined during the sprint, doing some mind-numbing law school homework. Would rather be working on my whip. Ugh, law school sounds wild. So you know what? Good for you. Speaking of, this is totally unrelated. Well, not really unrelated. Anyway, this is my stream of consciousness. So I was reading Series of Unfortunate Events, the first book,
Mm-hmm.
today, and I finished it today. And there's a whole like thing in there about nuptial law because that's a big part of
Mm-hmm.
um, the plot of the first book. And so
Mm-hmm.
part of me wonders how much of that is actually accurate because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like Lemony Snicket's a popular author. I feel like he would have done his research, but you know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder how much of it's actually accurate. So, Marla, you can tell me if the nuptial law was accurate. Wait, I just realized I don't know anything about y'all's whips. Have y'all talked about them today? We didn't really talk about them in detail, but
Yeah.
if we want, we can share some of it. If you want, actually, now that I have one, I'm just going to read you my book blurb that I
There
wrote
you go.
because I'm very proud that I finally freaking wrote it. So, Becca, do you want to talk about your book while I pull that up?
Sure, mine's not going to be nearly as polished as Cody's because I've yet to do my book blurb. It's actually the thing that it intimidates me infinitely more than writing my book. Um, but essentially, it's a horror novel. It centers around like this couple that goes to this town in Seattle near Mount Rainier for their anniversary, and our female main character is haunted by the ghost of her mother's dead, like charred corpse, and what that how that is going to help unravel the secret of what's going on with her boyfriend's family. Um, and it's a very like woman oriented kind of feminine horror coming of self book, and that is kind of the gist of it. If you're like a trope, if you think in tropes, it's got like isolation, paranormal, like a journey of self-discovery kind of thing. So if you like that sort of thing, that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah. And I love the way that you talk about it because you talk about how a lot of the female experience, especially in today's society,
Mhm.
could be a horror in its own, because
Mhm.
this just ugh, don't get me started, because I mean I can't really speak from personal
Yeah.
experience. Obviously, I'm not a woman, but
Mhm.
I do stay up to date on all of the things that are going on, because I have a lot of strong, powerful women in my life, and I support all
Mhm.
of them wholeheartedly. And I believe that everyone should have a right to their own body to do whatever they please with it, because it is no one else's and has no place in a courtroom or a law or anything. So that is my opinion. I'm for the girlies.
Think also, I now that I can like say this, I was talking to my husband about it. He's like, it's kind of like if The Haunting of Hill House and Mother with Jennifer Lawrence had a baby.
I could see that. I can definitely, because from what you've told me, I can definitely see Haunting of Hill House. I don't think I've seen Mother with Jennifer Lawrence.
It is horrifying. It's
Okay, well,
very,
I
it's
might
got
watch
that
that after the
like,
stream tonight.
it's yeah, it's got that lens of like that feminine horror, like that female experience kind of, I think, facet to it. So yeah, let me know what you think.
Okay, I will watch it and I'll text you my what is it? Live reactions.
Yes.
But my book is a mystery thriller, and it kind of has academia vibes because it takes place in a college. And I've been describing my book as a cross between Pretty Little Liars and I Know What You Did Last Summer, kind of those vibes. But I'm just going to read my book blurb because I wrote it and I'm proud of it. So this is the synopsis of my book. Are you ready?
Do it.
Logan is starting his first year at Westview Writing Academy with two goals in mind: getting away from his overbearing mother and finishing the last installment of his late father's series, Chronicles of a Killer. The only problem with the second goal is he needs to find a killer. When deciding which of the clubs to join for the year, Logan notices a barren flyer with nothing more than a QR code in the shape of a skull, belonging to the illustrious Ghostwriters Club, a group of rogue writers with the sole mission of exposing the truth. Only when Logan joins, he learns that the Ghostwriters have a lethal past. The group quickly becomes haunted by someone under the alias of user 125249, who believes someone in the group murdered Lexi Pruitt, a former member of the Ghostwriters that was found dead in her car at the end of the previous summer. This mysterious presence threatens to do whatever it takes to make the killer confess, even if that means exposing the dark truths of the group one by one. The price for no confession? Death. One by one, the group is exposed and lives are threatened over the very thing the group aims to seek out: the truth. If Logan runs back home, he will be proving his mother right, which in his eyes is a fate worse than death. Logan must work against the clock to launch his own investigation within the group as they all work together to learn what really happened the night of Lexi's death. In order to write the book and live the life he has always dreamed of, he must remain close to the investigation without knowing which of his new friends might try stabbing him in the back. Literally. Mic drop. But yeah, that's the book that I'm working on. It's called The Ghostwriters Club. It's a fun time.
So good.
Do deadlines motivate you to write? Yes, but sometimes they can also be debilitating, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because like the pressure of it makes it kind of takes the joy out of writing sometimes for me. So like usually like in the early phases, like first drafts, I don't typically do deadlines just because I want the first draft to be as fun as possible, to allow my brain to wander in all the various avenues without really putting too much pressure on myself. Um, when I get to the more analytical things like editing, which I'm doing right now, I feel like deadlines can be useful to make you just do that, because editing is not as fun as drafting, in my opinion. Some people
Mm-hmm.
love editing way more than drafting. I'm on the opposite end of that. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think, Becca?
I think I'm definitely in the same camp where it's I mean, we've kind of talked about it. I actually took off on my Scrivener like my writing goals. Like I didn't have a I took off the draft target and
Mm-hmm.
also like my daily writing goals. I think specifically because the fun and game section was really hard for me. So it was the hardest to get into, so I just like stopped. But now that I'm kind of like past it and I can kind of see the end, I did put like a target and I did put like some writing goals only to see like what I had to write. Like I'm like, okay, if I write 650 words a day, I can finish this draft by like the middle of September, and like that's really encouraging. So it just
Mm-hmm.
it really depends on the number.
Yeah.
of how much I need to write during the day.
It also
Um,
depends on your mental state, because
oh, for
sometimes,
sure.
like, there's just like a week where you're like, I absolutely cannot force myself to make something up creatively.
Yeah.
And so you can set deadlines, but also go into it with the mindset that the only person that set that deadline is you.
Is
And
you.
since you're the boss, you can change it anytime you want to.
Yeah. It's
So,
a really good practice, and I think like giving yourself a lot of grace. I think that's one of the
mhm,
things that I've learned, and I kind of reiterate this like in all of my videos, but like writing a book, I've learned to be so patient with myself and just give myself a lot of grace. Number one, to let it be bad and just
mhm,
accept that that's also part of the process. Like it has to be bad before it can be good. But like also recognizing like when I need to push myself a little bit to like, okay, I need to write. I want to write. How am I going to get out of this and like put something on paper and feel better about myself? But I think you and I are
absolutely.
pretty aligned a lot of the time on like I
We
think
really
our
are
approaches to writing.
two neurodivergent besties, just doing our best.
Me getting my ADHD like my official assessment this month. I'm like, yeah, okay,
Oh, it's gonna
figured
change your
out.
life. I loved when I got mine, and I've got my medication. Like it changed. It made my life so much easier. I'm like, wow, this
Yeah,
is how people's brains work normally.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I can't wait.
Love horror. I'm working on a new horror things myself. That
Yay.
sounds awesome, Becca. A lot of horror stories are very female focused too. Yay for a female led horror. I love a
Yes,
final girl
it's
situation.
so good.
Like
It's
it's
so
great.
good. I was honestly, I think I talked about this. I mean, I don't know if you've gotten to see the new Alien movie, but like, I think Alien is really one of those wonderful examples of like the first real final girl. And like, I love Ellen Ripley. I'll never shut up about it. Yeah, Cody's book sounds awesome.
Oh,
Just saying,
thanks.
it's so good.
Yeah, I want to see the new Alien movie. I just have not had the chance to see it, and obviously I can't right now.
No,
But
no.
maybe
Give it
I'll
like
it'll
a month and it'll end up on like some streaming service.
yeah. That's probably going to be a wait till streaming because me and Clark spent a lot of money going to the movies. The last like 2 months, like we've seen like 5 movies in theaters, which is like crazy. But
I
there's just
love
been so many good
movies.
movies coming out. I mean, I just
Yeah.
love them all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks, Alyssa. Let's see. I'm catching up on the chat. The
Mm-hmm.
answer is no, it was not legal just because of the coercion alone. I think she was underage. She was underage. But they said something about like being able to do it because if you have the guardian's permission, and since Count Olaf was the guardian, then he gave permission to get married to one of them. I don't know. Again, I'm not a law person, so it's also a middle grade fiction book. So I'm not putting too much weight into the actual factual of the law. Fun and games is hard for me too. I feel yeah, fun and games is like it's the toughest part because that's where the most stuff happens, and making sure that you're lining it up, and especially if you're doing like a thriller like what I'm writing, that's where
Mm-hmm.
all of your like big like red herrings are going, and you're dropping all these clues, and you're having to line up all these things, and making all these connections to these different people that might be important later. When
Mm-hmm.
you get past the fun and games, it's a very daunting section of the book to write. Also, I'm so sorry. I'll just have to look at me at this very unflattering angle of me just like digging my chin into my
I
chest.
actually just realized you've got a bunch of like horror icons on your
Oh
t-shirt right
yeah, it's spooky season and it's a
now.
Friends
Yeah.
shirt.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah,
so good. That's
I
so good.
figured we're in the burn month, so we got to break out the spooky shirt.
The burn
My
months.
ADHD meds also changed my life. I was like, wait, I can put my laundry away now? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can respond to this email and not think about it for like an hour before I do it. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the OG Black Christmas? I love Jess, the final girl on that. I think so.
I have
Well, I
not.
don't
I
know.
was literally Googling it right
What do you
now.
mean by the OG one? Is there? I feel like I've seen a Black Christmas, but I don't know if it was the original one.
Is it the one that came out in 1974 with my girl Olivia Hussey? I love her. Um, I don't know if you saw
Oh,
her Romeo and Juliet.
oh, I see. Yeah, there's a 1974 version, and then the one that was in 2006 is a loose remake and reimagining of the 1974 film of the same name. So I feel like I've only seen the 2006 one. I don't think I've seen the 1974 one. Oh, there's
Oh,
like two
yeah.
remakes. Oh, snap. Oh, there's
20,
a
I see
2019.
2019. Listening through.
Maybe that's the one I've seen is the 2019 one.
Interesting. Christmas horror movies are always so funny to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I cannot take them seriously. I'm like,
It's
yo,
like
it's Christmas.
you,
What are you doing
yeah.
here?
Like the I'm reading a book now by Brom who wrote Krampus. I think it's like the original Krampus
Oh,
book. And I'm reading, I think it's called Slewfoot, which is actually pretty good. And but I'm just like Krampus. Like I can't take it serious.
I
Like
can't. I'm
what
like,
do you mean?
it's just a killer Santa Claus. Like, grow up.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Like, come on, man. I love it though. I love stupid horror. It's
Yeah.
a fun time. But should we do our final sprint before it gets too late in the evening?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Are you good to do a full 25 or do you want to do like a 20?
I'm gonna be so transparent. I'm a little gassed. Can we do a 15?
Absolutely. I'm happy
Okay.
to do that for us. Let me switch up the clock.
Y'all, it's been a long day. I was literally telling Cody before we hopped on the stream that I just got back from a bachelorette party in Milwaukee and we went to the Pitbull concert, which was honestly so much fun.
It
It
sounds like
was so much fun, but I got back and have just been like in like cleaning mode and like meal prep mode and I went to the gym and now I'm like
she's
I
been a
took
productive
like
girly and she's tired, okay?
just a sleepy. I'm just a girl, guys. I'm just a girl.
I'm just a
Just a
girl.
girl. Okay.
All right, here we go. Our final 15 minutes. Let's kill it. Let's crush it. Best of luck to all of you. Here we go. All right. Last sprint, we did it. How did you do? I got like another 150 words. Nothing crazy, but hey, any progress is good progress.
Yeah, I think I got around. I think maybe like 100. Honestly, my brain is starting to go.
Yeah, I was like sitting here for a minute and I was like, how do I just I can see it in my head when I'm trying to say, but I was like, how do I describe that?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a toddler wrote but I kind of figured it out, and I can polish it up later. It's not like this is the final draft or anything, so
Yeah.
that's all good. Finished early. Chapter 7 makes more sense now, and I love that you did what you came to do, which was slay, and you slayed. So I love that. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming to the stream tonight and keeping me company as I am locked away in a tower because I am indeed a princess. Thank you. Um, but this was so much fun. I'm so glad that you all joined us and we all got some fun words in. Becca, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me my channel. I think it's just Becca Tobar. All of my socials are linked in like my description and on my channel. But my Instagram is Becca Tobar Writes, and it's really just Instagram and YouTube. So you can catch me over there. I try to post new videos every Saturday, and I'm gonna try and do 2 videos a week this month in September. So
Ooh,
if you like writing
okay.
content and stuff, yeah, definitely give me a follow. And I post a bunch of behind the scenes stuff on the book over on my Instagram. So
Yeah, I have an Instagram writing account. I don't really use it. It was my personal one that I just changed the name of. So if you're ever looking for me, just Cody the Writer here on YouTube. That is the best place to find me. That's where I predominantly post all of my stuff. And I very frequently stream, and I will be picking up streaming again now that my life is slowing down a little bit with the
mhm.
show. So we are here. I'm probably going to be starting to stream at least once a week again. So check the channel. There will always be some sort of announcement. Just click that notify button and you'll be notified every time I go live. And you never know who might pop up on the streams. But also, Alyssa in the book, she was in the chat. I will be streaming on her channel tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Central Time. So if you're a morning person and you want to join us over there, go hop on her channel, click the notify button, and subscribe while you're there. And we'll have a good old time, just a little more sleepy.
Yeah.
It'll be all good. But I have Mother pulled up, so I'm about to watch it as soon as we get off this here stream. So I'm excited.
Incredible.
I'm gonna let you know how it goes. But oh,
Good.
hi Clark! Everyone say hi Clark, and everyone
Hi,
send him all
Clark.
the happy emojis for taking care of me while I'm healing from Miss Corona virus. But he's been taking the best care of me, and he watches all the streams because he's just supportive like that, and he deserves all the love. So everyone spam hi Clark or love you Clark in the chat. But with all that, we will see you in the future at some point. Happy spooky season, and um, read a book and touch grass. That's all I have to say.
Incredible advice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
night. That's like my
Uh,
favorite.